Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on the Center Circle channel. Apologies, it has been a while, but we are back. Yeah, we are back. And in today's video, I've got the Becoms gang back on the channel. So Nick, Ibs, Richard, how you guys doing?
All good, man. All good.
Yeah,
Good.
cool. So as you can see, I've got Ibs United fan, Nick United fan, Richard. Let's not, yeah, looks.
I'm a City fan. I'm a City fan. I'm a City fan.
Ah, no one's a City fan.
Yeah, Rich is a Chelsea fan. So I thought because as we're coming towards like the end of the season, I thought we'd do season awards for the 2022-23 season. So that means going through like manager of the year, player of the year, young player of the year, etc., etc. So yeah, let's just kick this off. So first of all, let's start with the manager of the year. What have you guys gone with?
Uh,
All right. All right, go on, Rich. Go on, Rich.
Manager of the year. I think it's between for me Pep or Eddie Howe. Obviously you see the job Eddie Howe's done with Newcastle, taking with the Champions League and whatnot. But I think I'm gonna go with Pep just for the reason. Obviously he has a great team, whatever. Haaland, KDB, Bernardo Silva, but to be able to three-peat the Premier League, that has only been done twice. Team I do think is an exceptional feat, and I can't just overlook it and give it to another manager because they made top four. At the end of the day, it's all about winning and three Premier Leagues in a row. As a Pep hate, no, I don't even hate Pep, but I do have my agendas, but I do have to put them aside because, as I said, it's not easy to do. So I'm gonna give it to Pep.
I'm not gonna lie. For me, it has to be Eddie Howe. It has to be Eddie Howe. Bro, he came like it's not even been two full seasons. He came halfway through last season. He done bits last season. This season, he's got him into top four, playing man like Cher and Botman. Botman, don't get me wrong, he's a great centre back, but Cher and Botman is not necessarily a Champions League starting centre back duo. Man like Dan Burns at left back, Joe Linton in midfield, Almiron that was like nowhere to be seen for how many years at Newcastle doing bits. Callum Wilson, who great striker again, but was never necessarily prolific at any point in his career. He's got the very, very best out of his players, and he's got them to the Champions League without the club even necessarily having to spend too much money. And even the money that they have spent on the players, those players haven't necessarily been all that much involved in this season. So you look at Isaac, he only came in later on and only sort of influenced their season towards the end. Gordon barely been involved. So yeah, has to be Eddie Howe. He's getting the most out of his players and got them in Champions League.
Yeah, I have to agree with Nixon. Literally, Newcastle Eddie Howe has to be manager of the season because, like, in my lifetime of watching football, I haven't seen Newcastle in the Champions League. So to even like say Newcastle and Champions League in the same sentence, it's crazy. They finished like 11th place, I think, last season, and now potentially could finish third in the Premier League and be in the Champions League next season. Like we could see Newcastle versus PSG at St James's Park. That's just crazy to think of. So I think it has to be Eddie Howe. I think how he's transformed this team with relatively, I say, average players. Um, he has to be manager of the season.
Yeah, I think I'll have to go with Eddie Howe. And I'm not saying because like City have run away of the league, but honestly speaking, I think not many people thought Newcastle would finish top four, top six, maybe even like not even top seven, maybe. I had the Newcastle finishing like eighth, ninth, like top 10. And to think like when Eddie Howe took over, they were like they were like in the relegation squad basically. And then they got out of that finishing 11th place. And like the way how they've played this season, like how their defense has like run, it's impressive, very impressive. Don't get me wrong, what Pep has done at City is incredible. Like I honestly think Pep will win the treble with City because I can't see United beating City. No disrespect, guys. No disrespect, but like I'll be very surprised if United beat City, and that's not but because of how not as good United are. I think City are just ridiculous. And then obviously the Champions League final, I could see your massive favourites for that. So I think even if Pep wins the treble, I still think Eddie Howe, based on the job that he's done at Newcastle in the space of what 18 months. So so yeah, next kind of segment. Let's go play of the year. And I think this is without doubt the easiest like award that we can just give out. So
No, I'm not going Haaland. I'm not going Haaland. Listen, just to be different, yeah. Just because why not? Yeah. It probably it is Erling Haaland. Don't get me wrong, it is Erling Haaland, yeah. But I'm just saying this to make a point.
mhm.
Harry Kane, 28 goals this season in this Tottenham side is crazy,
Mm.
bro. It is so crazy. I would even argue that Harry Kane getting the 28 goals at Tottenham would be more difficult than Haaland getting what is it 35 at Man City this season. I
36.
know it's not. I know it's not because 35, no one's ever done it before. He's broken records in his first season. I know it's not. And like I said, it probably is Haaland. But what Kane has done, and no one's talking about it because everyone's talking about what Haaland's done. I don't even think Harry Kane has ever had a 28 goal season.
No,
So
I think he
we
has.
talk about Kane being this world class, amazing striker. This is his best ever season. He's been overshadowed, but it's a big shot, man. Harry Kane's up there, and he's done it in this Tottenham side. This Tottenham side's
But there's a
been.
reason for it though. I think
Say that
people
again?
I think there's people caught on that although he scores a bunch of goals, he's also a serial loser as well. So it's one of those things like
That's
what
Richard.
else can you
That's Richard.
give me kind of thing. Now, because obviously not you can't just use trophies to judge a player, but when he's been to like cup finals and he's lost all of them, he bottled it when he put the ball over the bar for England. It's one of those things like I'm going to use Alan Shearer, for example. I think one of the reasons, even though I don't believe it is, but people put him in like the best striker in Premier League, blah, blah, because he was able to win that one Premier League with Blackburn. If he didn't win that one Premier League, I do think he would be kind of forgotten to an extent. So it's one of those things. Harry Kane isn't a young guy anymore. He's like, what, 28, 29? Is like, what's your legacy after? Is it just the
The
goals and
thing
stuff
is,
like that? So,
I
yeah.
I agree with everything you just said, but all I'm if you look at just the 37 games so far this season in the Premier League, I get the whole final stuff in the past and what he done at the World Cup. I get all of that, and I agree with you all that. He needs to show a bit better bottle in the finals. I'm not even arguing about that. I'm just saying, based on this, the Premier League season, 37 games played so far, he would be right up there if it wasn't for Haaland scoring
Yeah.
35 goals.
No, but you know what?
Nah, yeah,
You've
go
kind
on.
of convinced me. You've kind of convinced me about the Harry Kane thing because I was watching, seeing like Harry Kane is scoring goals almost every week, but obviously
Without fail.
Haaland is
Without
scoring as yeah without fail. Yeah, he hasn't won any trophies, but
yeah.
we're talking about Premier League player of the season,
Mm.
and to score 28 goals, only 8 goals behind Haaland for Spurs, who are not even challenging for anything, shows how good a player Harry Kane is
But
and how
also,
he kind of carries that team,
No,
even though he carries them to nothing, but he carries them nonetheless.
mm. No,
but
I'm
over the
So, I,
course
actually
of the
yeah.
season,
so
but let's
I'm
just say
sorry to,
over
I'm actually swaying towards Harry Kane as
okay, but over the
because
course of the
Haaland can
season,
just it's
do you
easy
feel
for him.
like do you feel like over the course of the season he's been better than KDB and Odegaard? Harry Kane, I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
KDB, yeah, because KDB he comes like we don't get me wrong, world class and everything else, but there's moments in the season where he goes quiet and no one talks about him for quite some time. He has moments where he goes quiet. I'd say better than KDB. Uh, I don't know about Odegaard. I don't know, but possibly, yeah,
No,
28 goals, man.
But
Has
I'm
to
glad,
be.
no, I'm actually glad that you guys have said Harry Kane. I'm not saying that Harry Kane's my player of the year, but I just wanted someone just to mention it because I think to score the amount of goals that he has and they're not even in like top seven is ridiculous. And I think Harry Kane's one of those players where he can create for himself, whereas Haaland has to rely on other players to create for him. Hence why Haaland's getting the amount of goals that
Mm.
he's getting. And I think this is the first,
Imagine if
I don't
imagine
fully
if
agree with
Kane
that
got the move to
because
City.
huh?
Imagine if Kane got that move to City a few years ago.
There
he
you go.
might be also dream there. But then even if I look at someone like let's say Ivan Tony, for example, I also feel more impressed with a job that Ivan Tony has done than what because I mean whether we want to slice it, Tottenham did have a chance to make top four. I'm not saying it's all Harry Kane's fault and whatnot, but then they got overtaken by United, Liverpool, Newcastle, Brighton, Villa. These are teams that 2 months or 3 months ago were below them. So I don't know, when you start dropping down the table like that, even though you score all those goals, I can't give you the credit that you feel like. Obviously, talking about just individual, I'll stand to see, but when you talk about player of the season, you also talk about the impact that your players had on your team. And I don't think he's had that great of an impact on his team overall. That's why I started bringing the names like KDB, Odegaard, Ivan Toney, and all these players, because I feel like their impact has helped their team more than Harry Kane's impact has. So
Yeah, I think
You
I
think
understand what you mean.
KDB has a large, bro?
yeah,
Without Harry
because
Kane, Tottenham are
Yeah, without
bottom
those
half of
28
the
goals,
table,
Tottenham are even further
bro.
down the table.
Because as well, no one's helping him this season, bro. Like at least in previous seasons, you had Son doing bits and maybe a few others, bro. No one's helped him. No one's helped him. I don't know. The thing is, like I said, it's probably Erling Haaland. It probably is 35 goals, hard to dispute it, whatever it is. But
yeah,
Kane's a great shout, man, for an individual season.
Mm. Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah. We'll leave that off. Well, no, I think we have to
it's
give it
hard.
to
Everyone's
Haaland.
saying Haaland, but
Yeah, I think we have to say Haaland, but I think on the basis I understand what everyone's saying Harry Kane. Because the thing is, what's kind of funny as we move on to young player of the year, like Haaland could easily be young player of the year. But
everything double double, no double double. Yeah, what's it called?
But the thing is, like the way how I see it, I still think like Haaland will play player of the year, and I think if Haaland doesn't win young player of the year, I think they might give it to Saka in my
No,
opinion.
he has to win both because
Yeah, I
he
think
Like,
qualifies
yes.
for both.
yeah, he definitely qualifies for both. But saying that, if he qualifies for both, you'd have to say Harry Kane can get young player, and then not young player. Harry
Young
Kane can
player.
get player, and then Haaland to get. But the way how
Haaland will still get player of the season though.
that's the
Haaland will get it.
No, Harry
You
Kane's
can't dispute with
yeah
35 goals in the Premier League. He will get it. And I
36.
and I haven't got a problem with Haaland getting it. He deserves it. So
Mm.
Yeah, therefore, and I say young player of the year. It's gonna sound like a gender, but it's actually not. But I don't even think Saka is in the conversation. Well, not really in the conversation like that after what he's done the past 5, 6, 8 games. I do think the conversation should really be
Wow. Okay.
Martinelli. I think Martinelli should be the one to really, because I think
Really?
I think Martinelli had been, if you're just looking over the whole course of the season, because up until that, as Gary Neville said, 30 games, I think Martinelli and Saka were outstanding.
So why?
After that, I
Sorry.
do think,
Go on.
yeah, I think after those 30 games where Arsenal started busting it, I felt like Martinelli kept his standards while Saka's standard dropped, which is why I said over the course of the season, I'll probably say Martinelli is the guy that I look at more than Saka.
So not Martin Odegaard over Martinelli, you know?
does Odegaard qualify?
Uh,
He's 24.
Yeah, no, he
He's basically my
qualifies.
age.
He
No,
qualifies, but I wouldn't put him over Saka. I think Saka's been great.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Obviously,
saying.
the last few games
nah.
this
If
season he hasn't been that good, but over
if
the course of the
Odegaard
season he has been good.
qualifies,
If
if
Odegaard was qualifying, I'd still go for Saka anyway.
Yeah,
nah, crazy,
But,
crazy,
but this is what I'm saying. I feel like
crazy,
it's Martinelli and Odegaard before Saka.
bro. Nah, I mean, yeah, maybe, but bro, if Odegaard qualifies, it is Odegaard. 100%, it has to be Odegaard. It has to. Bro, hold on.
Don't get me
Let me
wrong.
double check this.
I think it's very close. I think it's very close because I think Odegaard has had as good a season as Saka. But I think
Oh, sorry, go on.
I
yeah,
tell you,
it's very close.
ever since that Liverpool game, the Saka performance is spooky. Is very very spooky.
and the
I
thing is,
can't.
I can understand why Nick is even saying Odegaard because I think even when it was like the Newcastle game, Odegaard still came through and Saka. I wouldn't say Saka was missing, but like he wasn't his normal self. But saying that, Saka still had a great season anyway. In
You see,
my
since the Liverpool game, could you name me one good Saka performance?
My guy, you're nitpicking. You're nitpicking.
No,
You're
but no,
going
but
based on
Look
what
against
he is, bro.
Chelsea.
22-year-old.
no. First of all, if we're
Hold
talking
on,
about
hold on,
being
hold on,
close,
hold
we
on, hold
have to
on.
nitpick.
You do realize he scored against Southampton. You do realize that he scored against
He was
Southampton,
crap. He was crap that game.
but he scored, bro.
That's not my point. I'm saying. By the way, I'm not
He had a
comparing him
good game.
to.
He had a good
I'm
game against
comparing this to
Chelsea, in my
Odegaard and
opinion.
Martinelli. I'm comparing it to Odegaard and Martinelli. And as I said, I feel like those two, especially Martinelli, since the Liverpool, because it was since that Liverpool game, everything started going downhill. So from that point, as I said, I feel like Martinelli has kept his consistency, and I don't think Saka has, which is why I'm saying, I mean, how many people can you put in the conversation? There's Haaland
But
and there's
But I think when you're
Odegaard.
talking, you saying like inconsistency, I can understand how you're saying Saka's not been consistent. But if you're putting Martinelli ahead of the situation, I kind of disagree because I think you should put Odegaard ahead of Martinelli in terms of having a better season. But I still,
I think both of them are ahead of Saka.
you think both of them ahead of
Mm,
Saka? I think
Yes.
it's Saka, Odegaard, and then Martinelli, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you with that as well.
no,
What
I'm
do you
putting
think?
Odegaard. Let's put obviously
Lit-
Haaland's out of the conversation because Haaland would just win it.
Yeah, yeah.
But for me, it could
Yeah,
be
he's
any
really
one of
good.
those three. But it goes Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli. I just
Who-
think as well in a game where if none of them score, Odegaard will have the biggest influence on the game. Over those out of those three, if none of them score or assist, it's Odegaard that will dictate more of the game.
Who are the other
It could be any three.
contenders?
I
I
think
can't lie. That's what I was trying to think as well. I don't
I
know.
think I think Isak is a contender, and
Nah,
I think it's
he didn't
McAllister.
do it for long enough. He didn't do it for long
Yeah,
enough.
McAllister's a contender.
McAllister's a
It's
contender
not,
as
yeah,
well.
it's not a bad
Yeah.
shot to be fair.
I mean, he's had a good season.
Casado would be one. Casado, Brian Casado. He's young, isn't it?
Yeah, good. Yeah, he's had all right. He's had a good season.
He's not a, you know what? Eberiche Eze has had a quietly decent season. Considering
Oh
he
yeah,
Yeah.
was injured for quite some time,
true.
in the time he has played, he's bagged a few goals.
Yeah,
He's
so
looked good. He's looked lively.
it's Botsman, Casado, Haaland, Isaac, McAllister, Martinelli, Odegaard, and Saka.
Botman, yeah,
Those are
not a
the
bad shot to be fair. Defensive players just get overlooked though, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's peak if you're a defensive player.
Mm,
You're not. It's hard to win any individual awards as a defensive player.
that's true. Yeah, just looking at it now. Okay, okay,
yeah.
guys.
But I said
But yeah,
we all agree. I mean, just for conversation's sake, but Haaland should really
Yeah,
sweep up all
Haaland.
the
Yeah,
awards.
yeah. But I think to make the conversation interesting, it'd be nice to see different names. So as
yeah.
Yeah.
so we're moving on to signing of the season. Obviously, everyone would say Haaland, but just for the sake of it, can anyone think of any? Say, for example, Haaland wasn't in the question. Can anyone think of anyone that deserves to be signing of the season?
Yes, absolutely. Man like Casemiro, you have to put him in the conversation. You have to put him in the conversation. Him or Lisandro Martinez could both be signing of the season. And maybe that's my Man United bias coming in a little bit. Maybe it is. I don't know. But both of them are in the conversation for signing of the season, in my opinion.
No, you
Because
know,
without those two, we don't get
no,
Champions League
no, don't
football.
get me. No, I wouldn't even disagree with you on what's his name, Casemiro. I wouldn't disagree with you on that. Um, I think with Arsenal, I don't think you should put Zinchenko only because he's had no Zinchenko had a good first 6, 7 months into the season, but then from that Liverpool game, he has defensive frailties. Hence why I don't think he should be assigned the season. Gabriel Jesus, he's had a good season, but he's been injured for some like 3, 4 months.
Wasn't
Um,
Zinchenko injured as well for quite some time?
No,
Zinchenko's been
wasn't for the
injured
season.
for a bit of time as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so yeah, I can understand you guys putting Casemiro forward for this conversation. To be fair, because he was in my like top two, top three as well. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, Rich, what are you saying?
Yeah.
I think I have them.
Um, I mean, we're just trying to see because Martinez will seem like the name that jumps out and stuff. I think he's really good as a centre back because I mean, you saw the team that came in with him as he was coming into the season about his height and can he play in the back too and all that kind of stuff. And I do feel like he's been able to put all those conversations to bed and stuff. So, and even though Jimmy Carragher tries to run the agenda, talking about they were targeting him when they weren't, but yeah, I don't know. As you said, there's Casemiro and then there's Martinez, and I do feel like Casemiro, I think he's been really good, but then you can see that he's missed a lot of games through suspension and all that kind of stuff, and then he's had a few iffy games here and there. Whereas in Martinez, I can't really look too much moments apart from the Brighton game and when Salah was making him turn inside out. So yeah, I'll
Nah.
go Martinez.
Yeah,
Okay, Corella, your pick.
I'd probably more give it to Casemiro, I think, only because of how Casemiro has been important for United team. And and honestly, I think without Casemiro, I don't even know if you guys would get top four. Cause I remember talking to Ibs, like they were saying, "Oh, we'll challenge Arsenal City for the league," and 2, 3 months later, they're
Wait,
just about getting top four.
just a
So
quick question. What season? Wait, did Nick Pope join this season or last season?
Might be
I
the
think
This
I think it was this season, because
yeah
Burnley,
this
when
season.
Burnley went down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, Burnley went down, didn't they?
So was this?
yeah, yeah.
I think
It's
I
not a
might be.
bad shout. It's not a bad. It's an outside shout.
Yeah. And you know
Nick
what?
Pope.
As I was thinking about it, I was trying to think who's joined like this summer because I was trying to think of the Newcastle team just to how well they was doing. Cause I was thinking Bruno Gomes, he joined the year like not this summer, the summer,
Yeah, yeah.
something like that. Trippier joined like a couple years before. So
Yeah.
if anything,
Said Isaac,
yeah,
MacArthur, Botsman, Pope, Target,
yeah.
Murphy, and some other guy I don't know. So
Mm.
yeah,
wait, when did Matoma join Bryson?
I think that wasn't this summer. I think it was the
It
year before.
wasn't. Oh,
And I
okay.
think McAllister was like COVID, I think. I
yeah.
think McAllister was COVID.
I
But
know.
Well,
I'll
if we're
give
talking
fingers to
Brighton
Nick
though,
Pope.
I'll give one outside shout for Brighton is a Stupinan, their left back.
mm.
They got him on the cheap. They got him for like 15 mil, I think.
Mm.
And he's quietly been one of the best left backs this season. There's not many names ahead of him
Mm.
this season. Left back, maybe even right back as well. He's been really good.
Mm. Okay. Okay, cool. Let's quickly move on to flop of the season, or should I say transfer flop of the season. Um yeah.
Chelsea's whole squad, bro.
Also,
Chelsea's whole squad.
It has to be Chelsea. It has to be a
Pick who
Chelsea
you want,
player.
bro. Pick
Huh?
who you want.
It has to be a
also
Chelsea player.
Raheem Sterling, Koulibaly, Cucurella, and Aubameyang can all.
Madrid. Oh my days, Aubameyang. I forgot about Aubameyang.
Yeah, you know what? The
No, it
only
has to be a Bamiyang. What has he actually done for
no, but you know what?
Chelsea?
Yeah, I understand why people give it to Aubameyang, but the man is not getting played. It's not like he's getting
There's
played.
a reason because it's crap.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's a reason. There's always a reason.
Yeah, it's true.
yeah.
But then I was more thinking Mudryk because like the big price tag, like everyone thought he was coming to Arsenal, talent and everything like that. He goes to Chelsea, everything. Oh yeah, we got Mudryk. Chelsea fans
Rodriguez
laughing,
said.
and then he messed up. But then also, I think you need to consider Richarlison because he came from Everton at 60
Yes.
mil. And I think I don't know if you guys have seen this stat where like he said he's taken his top off more time.
4 times. 4 times, bro.
And the thing is,
Four yellow cards, 1 goal. Killing me.
and the thing is, even when he scored against Liverpool, they still lost the game. That's just
Yeah.
Spurs.
I think
Oh my
it should be.
days.
That's just Spurs for you. But I
So
You can
peak.
throw Anthony's name in there as well if you want to.
Nah, come on, man.
think
Nah,
Anthony. I think
doesn't.
I'd give Anthony one more season. I think.
It's been mediocre from Anthony this season, but there's that it can't. It's not a flop of the season
He's not
conversation.
flopping the season. He's not.
No,
He hasn't lived it
Yeah,
up
right.
yet. But yeah, I'd give him one more season. But yeah.
Probably
I'll give him a few.
Richarlison. Richarlison.
Yeah, Richarlison, Mudryk, Sterling, Aubameyang.
Mudryk and Sterling are not in the conversation.
They
It's
are.
Cucurella. Nah, because I think Sterling.
Sterling is.
Listen, everyone.
Sterling is.
When you lot bought Sterling, I could just see how you
Yeah.
guys were just gassed about that signing. Oh, he's won
Literally.
trophies. He's very
No,
experienced.
the signing was good in terms of profile player because if you're going to put Havertz down the middle, they need a goal scoring winger, and that's what Sterling is. Like he's good. So there wasn't anything wrong with this signing, but then you see all the manager changes and all that kind of stuff. And one time I saw him playing wing back. Like, what we meant to do with that? So, but
Sterling.
yeah, it's like the season hasn't been
Wing
great,
back.
but as I said, when you're talking about, I feel like if you look at the signings that Chelsea have made this season, I can argue it's between Aubameyang and Cucurella. Everyone else gets a pass for me in terms of new signings.
Well,
Yeah.
as we know, there's a Chelsea player in there or a Tottenham player. So yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
If I could get to
In terms of
Richarlison.
what team do you guys think have overachieved this season? Personally, I just think Arsenal because I don't think many people thought we were going to get top four, let alone challenge for the league. So that's why I thought Arsenal.
Either
Arsenal,
or
Newcastle.
Brighton.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Because Brighton they've qualified today for sure Europa League.
Mm.
So that is, I think
And I
that's
think as well,
amazing.
Aston Villa, because when Emery took over, they were battling out with Chelsea near the bottom of the table. And the run that Emery has been on, you could see as an overachievement. So, I mean,
Okay.
I might go Villa. Because
Like Stevie G.
it really and truly, I think it's
Yeah,
Newcastle, but Slippy G. I think it's Newcastle, but then I think Villa gets a good show as well.
But Rich, you actually not going for Arsenal at all?
Overachieve, mate, the boss of the league. What's overachieving about that?
Agenda.
We were just thinking about, could we get top 4? We wasn't even thinking about challenge for the league. We are like 2 years ahead of the process right now. So,
well, technically, you're 8 points behind Man City. Is that challenging?
but we still overachieved, bro.
I'm just asking.
The only thing I'll say about this Arsenal team this season, is how good this season was for you, man, will depend on the following seasons. Because if you fall off next season, then this season it's just going to be a one-off where you were kind of good.
I
and nothing
understand.
really
I
came from it.
understand that. But
If you kick on, then it becomes as like the start of what would go on to be the Arteta, like whatever.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay,
We'll see.
let's kind of end it off with like the best question I'm looking forward to. What team is underachieved? And I think we all
Come
know.
on, Rich, come on,
Wait.
Southampton.
talk to us.
Southampton.
He just looked at the bottom of the table.
I guarantee you put Southampton in the relegation anyway, so that doesn't make any. So, but yeah, man,
Leicester.
has to be Chelsea.
Yeah, no, I think it's Leicester as well.
You think
To be
Leicester?
honest, I would say Chelsea, but I think Leicester because
Because
they might get relegated.
The only
They
reason
will.
why
I think they will. I think they will get relegated.
I think Leicester will get relegated as well, to be fair. But the only reason I'm going Chelsea was because Chelsea were expected to challenge for the top 4 or at least be in top 6. Not be
According to who?
According to you and other Chelsea's fans that I've spoken to. How have
most Premier League fans, bro.
Thank you. And it's like, how have you gone from Tuchel and had four managers in a Premier League season? You went from Tuchel to what's his name? Potter, then to the other guy you had before Lampard. And it's like,
well, exactly. All those changes, this is expected. So really,
bro.
Listen. When Man United had their season last season, I genuinely sat there to myself throughout. Like in my head, I felt like we lost every game last season. Yeah, I feel like we had the worst season like possible, like imaginable. Yeah, and we finished 6th. Your best finish will be 11th, and you spent 600.
It could be 12th, bro. It could be
12. It could be 12.
It could be 12 or 13.
Oh, yeah.
What's it called? One game a week, Chelsea. Scary hours. Scary hours.
It's great
scary.
You know what, though? Pochettino is a good appointment. We'll see, but Pochettino is a good appointment.
Yeah. At first, I wasn't fond of it, but I've warmed up to it. So, I said, we'll run that contest season back.
Quick question before we end. Would you guys put, what other team I'm thinking of? What's the team? Would you put West Ham as underachievers only because they were in like the conference? They were fighting for like in Europa League semi-final, and they were expected.
Yeah, but then you can look at last season as them overachieving, and this is probably just where they are. So
no, I think the fact that they had European games this season definitely had a toll, and now they've made it to a final. But they've definitely underachieved for the quality they have in their team.
Did they not have European games last season?
That's what I thought.
Actually, they did.
They had Europa League.
Yeah, they did.
So they were in the West Ham season.
Oh, they fell into conference. Right.
I mean, and they've got Antonio leading the line
still underachieved a bit, but they saved themselves because it would have looked a lot worse if coming into the last few weeks they were still in the relegation battle. They got themselves out in time to sort of save face, I guess.
Yeah, and shout out to Brentford and Fulham as well for being overachievers. I didn't expect Fulham to be where they are as well. So
yeah, Fulham,
yeah. So yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. I'd like to thank the Beacons Mandem for jumping on. Ibs, Rich, and Nick for we're definitely linking up in the next couple of weeks as well, so that'll be good. But yeah, guys, that's our season awards. Let us down in the comments below if you agree or disagree. And yeah, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, catch you soon.
Super goal. Has gone to McAllister. What a strike! And Salah's wriggling in and scoring. This is Stuart Dallas.